Good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is Paul Flynn of themcgillreview.com for the 5th of November 2016. Just want to do one last video probably before I go to bed tonight, and we're going to talk about just this more and more news about Hillary Rodham Clinton's coming out in the media. Okay, we should, as much as possible, be slow to come to judgment. We should wait for the facts to come out. Now, something big had to cause the FBI to reopen the investigation. I think any sober acknowledging of that. I don't think, like James Comey during the summer basically acknowledged right after he's, didn't recommend to press charges and all this kind of thing, basically went in front of the public and told us many reasons why charges should have been brought against him. People say, oh, well, it was a mistake, all this kind of thing. Well, here's the thing. Mishandling, even if it's not intentional, of classified information is a felony. And plenty of prosecutors could have easily brought her to heel. Now, yesterday on Breitbart News Daily, I've just posted on my Facebook page comments, alarming comments. Look, and this is not an isolated incident. Loads of media outlets are reporting exactly the same thing. Now, we need to be careful. Let's not get into rumors, but at the same time, Blackwater founder and former Navy SEAL Eric Price claimed to Breitbart News Daily host Alex Marlow the following. He talks about Wienergate and Anthony Weiner, who is the husband, well, I suppose soon to be ex-husband of Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin is one of the highest aides, basically almost like a second daughter to Hillary Clinton. Anthony Weiner, just going to go through really quickly, but he's been involved. I think a lot of people have known he was a pervert for a very long time, but it came out he was sending illicit pictures to an underage girl of 15 years old. This Navy SEAL, Eric Prince, said the following. They found State Department emails and found a lot of other really damning criminal information, including money laundering, including the fact that Hillary went to this sex island with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton went there more than 20 times. Hillary Clinton went there at least 6 times. Now, it's been pretty well corroborated by multiple sources that Bill Clinton has been to Jeffrey Epstein's island multiple times. This may seem shocking to many people. We have to wait for more facts to come out. This is potentially will be one of the biggest scandals in U.S. electoral history, and will make Whitegate look tiny. One of the reasons I'm doing this video is not to bring out these shocking revelations and all this kind of thing. There's other things as well on WikiLeaks. Disgusting occult activity and all this kind of thing with Podesta. But people can listen to this in their own time. I didn't want to link the Breitbart article about it. But there is multiple sources from multiple different people, journalists who are willing to cover it. The mainstream media won't touch it with a barge pole. People like CNN and all this kind of stuff. We can see the bias. I'm not a Trump supporter, by the way. I'm not. I'm Irish, by the way. I'm not American, but I'm not a Trump supporter. Look, if you're gonna say who do I prefer, Hillary or Trump, well, at least Trump is what you see is what you get. Hillary Clinton, my goodness, I don't know how many crimes she's involved in. It is astonishing. Like, on what we know alone, she should already be in prison. But I digress. Just say, right, I want to urge caution. Not just, okay, Hillary Clinton should be in prison. Yes. She should be, no way she should be running for the president of the United States. But I want to urge caution because it's so easy to get wrapped up in these details. And I've studied about this for ages. I was even going to do a big, massive show on Hillary Clinton. And I said, look, this has been covered by a lot of media outlets. And I'm only going to briefly comment on this. But I want to urge caution. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and even the other candidates are a product or a representation of the society. Now, I know people would say, well, they're ruling elites and they're not really interested in the normal people and all this kind of stuff. That's true. But how does somebody like Hillary Clinton, with so much of these scandals come out, get elected or even close to be elected? Now, I know there's the thing with Bernie Sanders. I know people will probably bring that up in the super delegates and all that, and Bernie Sanders never really had a fighting chance. Not that I'm for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is practically a communist, and a lot of his policies are as far removed from the Bible as you could possibly imagine. And I've covered that on the radio show before. And if you go to McGitterRadio.com, I talk about his visit to the Vatican and things like that, and how their economic policies are very similar. Even if you indict Hillary Clinton, even if you do all these things that people want, Hillary in prison, say Donald Trump gets the presidency and all that, are things going to be really different? Is there some goodness in some men? No. We know from the scriptures, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. None seeketh, look at Psalm 14. None seeketh after God. No, not one. We from our youth go from the womb sinning and loving to sin. The only solution to any of these things, and to see righteous government in place in the land, in any country across the world, is through the preaching of the gospel. Not that we ignore this. I hate the extreme of people who say, no, what can I do? I'm not interested in that. No. We want the magistrates to act in a godly manner and to convict those who are guilty of crimes. Especially, some of the allegations are horrific. And the Justice Department and the FBI and now the NYPD who are involved should do their job, and we should pray for them. We should also pray that they do all these things to the glory of God. I pray that they will come to know Christ. But they can indict all these people. But because of the nature of man's heart, because we are evil from youth, evil from a babe, we notice some Genesis chapter 6, Genesis chapter 8, that, and throughout the scriptures, that men are in a bondage of iniquity, slaves to their own sin, willing bondservants of the devil. That's what the scriptures declares. We can believe the world and there's some goodness in man and all this kind of stuff, and this will somehow help, or we can realize Donald Trump is a wicked, depraved sinner. I'm a wicked, depraved sinner as well, but he's never come to God for forgiveness. He doesn't trust God. He's never, and he's admitted this in an interview, he doesn't see himself as a sinner. What is needed in the country is an outpouring of the Spirit of God for souls to be turned. That way they do care. A lot of Hillary supporters don't care about this. They might mildly care, or they might say, okay, he's a bit better than Trump, she's a bit better than Trump and all this kind of stuff. But they do not care. They don't want to know. They like their life the way it is. They don't want it to change. And the way they see it, getting whatever they want, is by Hillary Clinton. Maybe it's the welfare state or whatever else, or maybe they want to be more like Europe. I don't understand people who say they love America, but they're not really interested in the principles of the nation. But I digress. Nothing, it doesn't matter what the result of this election is, unless the nation turns to Jesus Christ. Because what will happen? You'll eradicate this evil, but there'll be another one to come. There'll be another one to fill that void. There'll be sin kills, for the wages of sin is death. The Bible doesn't say there's some good sins and some bad sins. All sin. One sin will condemn anyone to hell. But we need that perfect righteousness of Jesus Christ. Should we ignore these scandals? No. We should put them in the proper context. We should cry over the sins of any nation. We should decry the sins and the perversions of those who are in authority. But when we say, well, the proclivities of one doesn't matter about the proclivities of the other one because, well, one is better than the other. No, all sin should be shunned. All sin should be preached against by the ministers of the gospel in the nation. How much will preachers be neutralized by the support of Donald Trump? Yes, I will admit here, undoubtedly, he is better than Hillary Clinton. And there's a human part of me wants him to get in more than Hillary Clinton. But I realize that unless the nation, and we should pray if Donald Trump gets in, we should pray for him. If Hillary Clinton gets in, we should pray for her, that she will repent, that the truth will come out. That, you see, what we want is God to be glorified. And for God to be glorified, truth must reign in every aspect of society. I pray that these allegations aren't true, but it appears more and more that those more and more sources from the NYPD, the FBI, and all these kind of things. But be not deceived. Just because, even if she is brought to quote-unquote justice, every single one of us deserves the wrath of Almighty God. Hillary Clinton and you and I. Every single one of us. If you do not see that, there is no hope for you. And if you realize that, you will pray for somebody as despicable and wicked as Hillary Clinton. Why? Because all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. We don't understand fully how depraved and how wretched we truly are. And I pray that those listening, I'm not saying ignore it, I'm not saying forget about it, but put it in its proper context. The nation needs the gospel of Jesus Christ. Not everyone is called to be a journalist. Not everyone is called to the Justice Department to fight with the FBI and all this kind of stuff. But those who are, we should pray for them. They should do their job. They're put there. They will be held accountable to God. Those who are in authority, according to Romans chapter 13, will pay a higher price if they're not clothed in the blood of the Lamb. But does your country need Jesus Christ, or does it just need, if you're an American listening, or does it just need to avoid somebody like Hillary Clinton? Cry out for the Spirit of God and get the gospel out, because the gospel is the only hope for America, not Donald Trump. The only hope for my country, Ireland, is the gospel of Jesus Christ. May we never forget that. And if you are not in Jesus Christ, may you turn to him today. This has been Paul Flynn. May God bless you all.